you're not moving. Baby. Okay, go out. Open the door, let you out. Go. Or don't. Baby, shut up. You're messing up my video. What is that light? There's a light in there. Okay, change this again. Skip that. Gotta get rid of that light. Oh, that light's still there. Ah, shut the door and it goes away. The colors are so pretty. amazing the colors are in this. I'm trying to have music in the background. It's free music, but they have commercials too often. There's Harry. Oh, little dog. I have a little dog that wants my attention right now. He's demanding it. She is. She picks the worst times. Baby, stop it. Okay, this is going to stop for just a little while because I want to show y'all something. Let's see if I can find it. I saved it as a bookmark. I guess it would be. That's not it. That's what I get for not having it already on here. I wanted to show you the ISBN number for the book that I helped with. Let's see if I can find it in my mail. Okay, there, I found it. Click on it. Okay, I'm taking over this one. This is Living Light Illuminated, Volume 1. And this is the page that its own sells for $14.99 from Amazon. It's called Living Light Illuminated. So, my friend Elizabeth and I, well, mostly her, she got this going. But a lot of my orb pictures are in it. So, if you wanted to look that up, you could. Now to get the video going again, with the orb pictures going by. They are strange. I've been thinking about a book. I haven't read it all. It's called A Course in Miracles. Probably a lot of you have heard of that. It begins with one premise at the very beginning of the book, and I really believe it. It says, "Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Therein lies the peace of God." So when we think we have things that are threatening, they're unreal. And given our attention to them, even though people can prove this is real, this is a conspiracy theory, it is real, this is really happening, all that they're doing is giving power over to that very thing. And it might be real, but we're here to call things that are not as though they were. Not to buy into what our senses tell us, because our senses will deceive us every day. And like Walter Russell said, we need to live more and more in the cosmic world of knowing and less in the electrically sensed world of our senses. Our senses will fool us. But we need to know that this world is illusion and that it's what we believe that happens. And so the controllers that control us want to control what we believe to be true. But they cannot control us if we just say, I'm not going to pay any attention to you. And we don't believe in their threats or even in the things that they are actually, it seems like, really doing. All of that could end so suddenly if enough of us thought of its unreality. If it's true that everything can change in the twinkling of an eye, then you know this world that we live in is just a simulation. Things change. We do know that because of the Mandela effect. We know that things can be changed. That defies the laws of physics. So the law of physics doesn't have anything to do with transcendent things that happen that are beyond the physical. And they are those things that you call in by calling what is not as though it were. Calling what is not as though it were is the same thing as whosoever shall say to this mountain, be removed, and not doubt in his heart, but believe the things he says, he can have whatsoever he says. But see, we doubt, and we're afraid to call things any different than our eyes see them. We think we got to stick to that because that's got to be the truth. And for a little while it might be the truth, but we can end it if we will start not getting emotionally involved in all the conspiracy theories. I've listened to a lot of them myself, and all that it ever has done for me is make me afraid and make me mad and make me hate those people who do those things. And all those feelings are not powerful feelings. It's not coming from a place of power to feel anger and fear and hate. Those are very, very low energy. They won't get you anywhere. They only increase what you're hating. And that is exactly what they want you to do. They want you to believe they can do just horrible things, but they would probably never admit that they've been thwarted many a time. And who's the ones that are upsetting their plans? People who can think outside the box, who don't have to just call it like their eyes see it. We can call forth a new tomorrow. We just have to begin using our thoughts as the main ones that we want to get out there and make sure they're good and lovely thoughts for the good of the whole, not just for the good of a few. So we do understand a computer and how that you have this, when you want something off of your computer, you do this combination of hitting Control, Alt, Delete. And what I say is control your thinking, think alternate thoughts, and delete all the old thoughts that you thought were so true that don't have to be true any longer. We can be the ones whose minds will control what other minds think, and we'll present them with good storytelling. You know, a lot of tribes had storytellers, and that was how the young people learned about growing up and about what was expected of a young man. The storytellers would give them a lot of insights. But you know, we're telling ourselves terrible stories. And terrible stories are what makes the news. The good stuff doesn't make the news as much as the bad stuff. So I would say if it's making you mad or making you hateful, just quit watching the news. That's about the only thing I could think to do. Although I do listen to it because I think I see the good winning. I see evil being exposed a lot of times on some of the news reports I'm hearing. And that makes me real happy. So I also was listening to a video today that was talking about the logos. And the logos was like the name for God that was not to be spoken because it couldn't be spoken. because it was not, well, let's see, it was like, not that it was unpronounceable, but it was everything and nothing. It was so much that there's just no way you could have one word for it. And it was called the Logos, and sometimes it was called the Tetragrammaton. And the Logos was the invisible substance of God, out of which all visible things come forth. Sometimes I look at these orbs and I think, they're invisible. To most people, I'm somehow able to get them on my, with my camera and show them to you. And otherwise, they would be invisible. You wouldn't see this if I hadn't been able to catch them. And I don't think it is some trick of light or something that marbles do, because I get these pictures from more than just glass. It can be any shiny spot on a leaf on a tree, or on metal, or on chrome, or on porcelain. It's not something inside the glass. And I've proved this over and over and over again to myself, because I'll get a certain little thing that if it were in the glass, the next piece I picked up wouldn't have the very same thing in it, but there it'll be, the very same picture with the same little thing in it that was in the other piece of glass, but it wasn't in the glass. But if I thought it was, well, why would it be in every piece of glass I use, the same little emblem? No, it couldn't be that. Because people like to say, oh, it's some of the imperfections in the glass itself, but that's not what it is. I've proved it to myself over and over and over again. Plus, I see some of what these pictures show you, I can see with the naked eye, but not near so good as a picture I can get of it. Because what I see with the naked eye is fleeting, and it's glimpses. It doesn't last as long as a picture does. And I can't show it to anyone. And people tend to not believe you when you say you see something that they can't see. But when you show them, with the pictures I can show them, but still my family thinks it's really nothing, They're not impressed at all, so I'm not going to get the big head. Not that I want to. That's one thing I do not want to ever have happen to me, is to get haughty about anything. And I want other people to be able to take pictures like this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be going to a metaphysical center and in the month of July, sometime during that month, and I'm going to show people how I take the pictures, and I'll find out if they can also do it. Some people have asked me, how do you get these pictures? And I explain it, and I say, please, when you get the pictures after I tell you how to do it, show me the pictures you get, or communicate with me, let me know, yay or nay, whether you do or whether you don't, let me hear from you. But only about one person, I think, has ever gotten back with me and said, here's a picture that they got. And they got something similar, not near as colorful, but something that shows that, yes, they too could get it. I think it's dependent upon the person believing in oneness, whether or not they can get these pictures. Now, that's my conjecture. I don't know if that's true, because I haven't proven it to myself to be true. It's just something I think, because of what I've read in a book that said, once we realize that we're all one, that we're all God, everyone is God, even your enemy, they're still God. Once you believe that and know that, and you start seeing God in everyone, you will be given a glimpse of the microscopic, subatomic zone of life. And then it talks about an amoeba and the first cell, and how that cell recreated itself, and that cell informs all other cells of how to be. And it's invisible, though. It said it's almost like an invisible drop of plasma or something like that, but it's invisible. And everything I take pictures of is pretty visible. But there are layers to this, and sometimes I do see floating over, like on an upper layer, what looks like it could be a drop of something that I just see the outline of. So I think these pictures are showing us something that is very needed for us to study today. I'm hoping, because I got that book out there, that maybe some scientist, a quantum physicist, will pick it up and realize that this is something that might be showing us the subatomic world. And I wouldn't believe that so much if I hadn't seen their pictures of atoms and their pictures of hydrogen atoms and the orbitals of the hydrogen atom and their example of how subatomic particles self-propel. Because all of their pictures where they show this sort of thing, I get in my orbs. And all that John Hagelin, I would love to get a hold of him. He says, the universe percolates rubber bands. And I thought, well, yeah, you should see the rubber bands in these pictures I'm getting. I wish you would look at them, John Hagelin, because there's tiny little circles everywhere and bigger circles. And it looks like the background of some of these orbs is just an incrustation of circles built up on other circles, and who knows the depth of it. But it's right here in empty space. It's right in the atmosphere in the room or outside. I can get these pictures outside with the sun as my source. And that's the thing that perplexes me, because the sun shows me these kind of orbs, but so does my LED light in my room. That's the kind of light I use, an LED light, because other lights don't work as well. They won't give me these colorful orbs. But and the cameras nowadays, the digital cameras, they're capturing a spectrum of light. I believe that the cameras themselves have some ability that built into them to do this. I know it's hard to believe, like, how could you think you're looking at something microscopic, that size, smaller even than the Planck size? Well, I don't know how I can believe it, except that I see it. I see all of this, and I think, well, it has to be something. And I don't like the explanations that it's a bug. I got the attention of a quantum physicist online that answers questions, and I wanted to send him orb pictures. He said, you're probably just getting bugs and dust. And I thought, well, then you don't want to see it, do you? And I asked him, did he want to see them? No, he didn't want to see. So they're kind of stuck in a box, just like religious people are. They're stuck in a certain doctrine or certain creed that they tenaciously hold on to, like their life depended on it. So I'm looking for a quantum physicist that's not afraid to look at something that maybe he's never studied before. Maybe it's not something that he knows very much at all about, but I think he should want to know more about it. Because this world of light is a real thing, or I wouldn't be capturing it. It's as real as any other part of this illusion we all live in is. Because if you can see it, but you can't touch it, does that make it different than the illusion? Because this can be seen, but it's not tangible. I kind of think it's like the Akashic records are. It's like the etheric world, the ethers. Nobody really knows what they really are, those things. So maybe it's this. Or maybe this is just a part of it. You know, nothing's ever just black and white. There's always things that have many different looks about it. So you can't say one thing, like looking at the elephant. You can't just say, if you're a blind man just touching the trunk, that it's all this way, or you're just touching the ear, you think it's all that way. Things can be many different explanations, and all of them true, is what I'm saying. So, if you know a quantum physicist, send him this video and see if he'll talk about it. At least talk about it. Call it a bug.